Hallo zusammen, herzlich willkommen zu meiner session on the latest and greatest on Exchange. My name is Siegfried Jagodt. I'm from Intellidy.net. I'm an MVP for Exchange and Office 365. You can reach me on Twitter under my handle SiggyJ. My company Intellidy.net basically provides all sorts of services around M365 migrations, and we are experts, of course, in the area, especially for Exchange hybrid and hybrid deployments. Well, personally, I'm running Exchange for almost 25 years. Yeah, well, Exchange turns 25 this year. Awesome. Yeah, so so is my experience. So I started with Exchange 4.0, and ever since fell in love with Exchange, and that's one of my big babies, of course. So this session basically was sponsored by a couple of Dragos companies, friends, yeah, IT Point, the Microsoft 365 block, Script Runner, and CloudEight. Thanks to all of you to make this conference possible, and it's awesome to be part of it. Yeah. Okay, let's start. So what are we talking about today? The first thing is we talk about Exchange and server updates. Then we go into Exchange Hybrid, and lastly, we will talk about Exchange Online, especially what changed in the last couple of months. So I focus on the last 6 months in means of what was released, public previews, and what's coming next. So first, let's start with Exchange on-premises. So that's Exchange Server. So remember the Exchange server architecture, and here you see the server architecture that was introduced in Exchange 2013. Basically, on the right-hand side, you see the Exchange server that runs the DAG. If you have more Exchange servers that they are combined to a DAG, you have the Outlook clients on the bottom. You have the Office Online Server farm also on the bottom. That allows you to share documents or edit documents in Outlook on the web. Yeah, and you have the Edge Transport Service, which is running in the perimeter network to service sending and receiving SMTP emails to Exchange Online Protection, which you see on the left-hand side, in the upper left-hand side. So the biggest change in Exchange 2019 was basically that they removed, or Microsoft removed, the phone system. So the phone, so unified messaging is not available in Exchange 2019 anymore. And if you're planning to migrate to Exchange 2019 anytime soon, make sure you understand this implication if you're using UM. So let's briefly talk about the Exchange 2016 history. Yeah. So after the release, a couple of updates were done, of course. And here you see the updates and what changed during the updates. For example, in CU 7, the forest level requirement was upgraded to Windows Server 2008 R2. Before that, it was 2003. Yeah. A couple of changes to .NET Framework, which were funny because if you did not consider them, you ran into also some kind of issues. CU8 brought us hybrid modern authentication to Exchange on premises in the hybrid authentication areas. Yeah, and various updates came up to CU19. CU19 was supposed to be the last CU for Exchange 2016 and was released in December. However, things change, and things change because of a security threat. So I hope everybody of you heard about the Hafnium problem and that Microsoft Exchange servers were basically vulnerable to be attacked from the internet because they had a specific problem where the attacker was able to connect and to your Exchange system and inject some malicious code to that. If you're not on the most current Exchange server patch level, here's the reminder, please act. Yeah. I added this slide just to make everybody aware that's watching this. Make sure you understand the implication, run the scripts, run the Microsoft scripts to check if there's anything weird in your system. So they provide two scripts, yeah, the Exchange online on-premises mitigation tool and the test proxy logon script. Yeah, and it's available for free on GitHub, and you just need to run them in order to investigate if there's some kind of issue in your system. If you're on the most current system version and patch level of Exchange, then of course you should be very safe. However, as I said, Exchange 2016 CU19 was supposed to be the last CU one. So because of this threat, on March 16th in 2021, Microsoft decided to release another CU for Exchange 2016 in order to fix all the vulnerabilities in the Exchange software. Yeah. So here's the biggest important thing is that you go on CU20 as soon as possible if you're not on 20 yet and you're running Exchange 2016. Let's continue. Of course, that also applies to 2013 and 2019. Yeah, 2013, make sure you update all the existing servers as well if you're still on 2013. In Exchange 2019, let's first talk about a couple of requirements you have if you plan to deploy 2019 or if you're already considering 2019. Well, first of all, 2019 runs only on Windows Server 2019. That, of course, requires you to upgrade your Windows system or to install a new Exchange server with the latest Windows Server 2019 in order to upgrade that. Secondly, Server Core is strongly recommended by the preferred architecture as released by Microsoft. It's quite funny, when we talked about Server Core implementation back in the Exchange 2010 times, so that's like 10 years ago, there I saw a huge benefit of Server Core. Nowadays, I think, well, because the power, the processor power and the servers are so strong and so powerful, it's more a security threat protection to remove, of course, the GUI. Yeah. But Server Core, well, you can manage it automatically. That's the recommendation. Yeah, it requires .NET Server 4.8, yeah, as well as, and that's the biggest thing, it has tremendous memory requirements. Yeah, so basically each server must have at least 128 gigabyte. For Edge, it's 64 gigabyte, which is of course a lot if you consider that you want to implement a DAG, and for DAG you require at least 3 servers. So at least you require 3 servers that have 128 gigabyte at least. Yeah, and well, which was in well, the processor count also was increased in 2019 up to 48 with 2016 24 cores were supported. Yeah. Well, lastly, with Exchange 2019, you have the N-2 coexistence, which basically means you can upgrade the last 2 versions to Exchange 2019. You cannot upgrade directly from Exchange 2010 anymore. I hope, well, you don't run Exchange 2010 anymore nowadays. Otherwise, you would need to have an intermediate step or to use third-party tools in order to upgrade to Exchange 2019. So what happened to Exchange 2019? Yeah, up to now, after the release back in late 2018, 9 CUs have been released. Yeah, so the latest one is the CU9 that was released, of course, after the vulnerability was discovered. So it includes all the patches in here. And that was released in March 2021. Yeah, and you see that it got some functionality at the beginning. Yeah, but in early 2021, when the problem was discovered by Microsoft, I guess everything shifted in order to fix the vulnerabilities in the Exchange Server product, and that's the reason even Exchange 2019 did not get anything new in means of features. They only split off a couple like things like the Exchange Server role calculator, but I'm talking about that in a minute or two. Well, the biggest thing that happened last month was another security update. Yeah, so on May 10th, 2021, Microsoft released a couple of security patches that fix 4 vulnerabilities that you see on the right-hand side. Yeah, so 2 are remote code execution categories, which are very important. 1 spoofing and 1 security feature bypass. I've included in the slide deck the links so you can further investigate what was changed if you're interested in. For me, it's important to mention if you upgraded or if you upgrade on a regular basis and you did not install these security patches, make sure you upgrade as soon as possible. Yeah, so install them as soon as possible. They are available for Exchange 2013 CO23, 2016 CO19 or 20, yeah, and Exchange Server 2019 CO8 or 9. However, if you're an older CU, maybe think about installing the latest CU and then also patch it immediately with the new security updates as of March. If you're not running them, well, of course, if you're not running any of the above supported CUs, then here's the warning. Your Exchange servers that are exposed to the internet might be already affected by malicious code. And go back and run Microsoft tools to discover if there's any issue here. Well, of course, nothing comes without any issues. So even the security update has issues. And I just wanted to address them so you understand if you install it, there might be an issue. So first of all, if your administrator or service account is ending with a $, you cannot use that. A workaround is please rename your service account to remove the $. Yeah. Next thing is some cross-forest free busy relationships based on the availability address space can stop working. So please test it. Yeah, and if you're running into this problem, make sure you read the knowledge base that is also attached to the security update article. Yeah. And lastly, yeah, after application of the Exchange server, may security updates commandlets executed against the Exchange management console using invoked run space might fail. Yeah, so that's especially important for scripts that you run. Test your scripts after each update, but that's, I guess, a best practice anyway. Okay, so what did change in the last couple of months in Exchange Server 2019? First to mention is that the Exchange role calculator is back as a separate deployment. It's kind of funny because we discussed back when Exchange 2019 was released with Microsoft why they included the role calculator only in the Exchange ISOs, so in the installation setup of Exchange 2019. Well, they said because they want to tie it to the Exchange server release cycle. Well, now, as they saw that they maybe need to update it more frequently or less frequently, I guess they changed it. So it's available as a separate download link for everybody now. So you don't need to have Exchange Server 2019 anymore. You can download it. Here's the link, and the instructions are also available. Remember, this is only for Exchange 2019 because older versions of Exchange like 2013 or 2016 have a separate role calculator. Next update is the Exchange Health Checker was updated. Well, if you don't know the Exchange Health Checker, it's basically a script that runs various checks on your on-premises environments and let you know if there's some issues in your environment. It's a great script that I always use, yeah, and it currently supports 2013, 2016, and 2019. So if you never ran it, please download it and check your system. Maybe you find some misconfigurations that you're not aware of yet. Well, here's another site that I just discovered recently and I find very useful. It's the Microsoft Exchange Server Support Scripts site on GitHub. Yeah, you find various scripts on different areas of Exchange, yeah, like hybrid, like databases like administration, search, security, or setup. Yeah, and it's a great list of information and sources for you to help you to manage, install, or configure Exchange servers. Yeah, so have a look if you did not them yet or look at them yet. So let's talk about the future, Exchange Server 2022. Well, amazingly, during Ignite last year, in Greg Taylor, the former marketing lead of Exchange Server, announced that Exchange Server 2019 will get a successor called 2022. And the release is planned for the second half in this year. So we are very close to release, obviously. Yeah. The thing is, the official statements were only available with subscription as a subscription. So you won't be able to purchase the server in the normal way, but you require a subscription to get it. However, it will be a subscription that entitles you for upgrades and support for the future. So it's a long-term servicing and maintenance and supports easy upgrades, hopefully. Yeah. So one big thing was that will be supported is the side-by-side deployment for not only N-2 but N-3. So Exchange Server 2022 can run on together with Exchange 2013, 2016, and 2019 servers. Yeah, that is one more Exchange Server version supported than ever before. Yeah. The cool thing here is, so for the first time ever in 25 years, now Exchange 2022 supports in-place upgrades. Yeah. Well, it only supports in-place upgrades for Exchange Server 2019. Yeah, and the limitation is also officially for a period of at least 2 years. Yeah. So the thing is, what you can do is you can install Exchange 2022 just as a normal CU. You run setup on the existing Exchange Server 2019, and it automatically upgrades everything to the latest and greatest Exchange Server 2022 version. Yeah. Of course, Microsoft states that allows admins to easily upgrade from the existing environment without the need to add more hardware, set up the hardware, and move the mailboxes. Well, interestingly, this brings me to another discussion we had for years, where Microsoft always said a new version with a new install is always a good decision because you remove the old stuff and move on to the new stuff. Yeah. So now, if you upgrade your Exchange 2019 servers in place to Exchange 2022, I assume maybe the Exchange 2022 is not the biggest change ever in Exchange. Yeah. And for that, I assume, but to be honest, there's not any information about any new functionality apart from the upgrades yet available on Exchange 2022. Of course, normal migrations from Exchange 2013 and 2016 apply. So there you need to upgrade to install the new Exchange Server 2022 into the environment and move the mailboxes. So why did we not hear anything in the last couple of months about Exchange 2022, but only the announcement that was made by Microsoft back at Ignite last year? Well, my personal opinion is first, the product manager from Exchange, Greg Taylor, changed to Scott Schnoll, also a fellow friend, which takes some time to took up the job, of course. And the second reason is, of course, that in January, the vulnerability on Exchange Server was discovered. And I guess that forced all development powers into a different area. And after I saw that in early May, even another security patch was released, I guess they're still struggling or working on fixing everything or making sure that nothing ever happens again. Yeah, and only after that that work is finished, Microsoft will be able to continue to work on Exchange 2022. So I have not heard anything officially but the announcement that 2022 will be released. So let's wait and see. Maybe later this year we have more information about what's coming, what's changing, and when Exchange 2022 will be released. So let's continue. Let's talk about what's new in Exchange Hybrid. So last year I talked in this area about the hybrid configuration wizard version 17. I hope everybody of you already upgraded to the version 17. Yeah, if not, basically you should upgrade the version by installing the new version 17 and removing the old version 16. Just make sure you understand the version number that is in your hybrid configuration wizard. So if you did not run it for the last year, make sure it at least shows 17, because it does not automatically update between 16 and 17 to run the latest version of the hybrid configuration wizard. So next, since December, the hybrid configuration wizard allows and supports now one-to-many on-premises to the cloud hybrid configurations. What does this mean? Before last year, the hybrid configuration wizard only was supporting one target exchange organization to configure hybrid. So a match one source exchange organization to one target organization. Well, basically, it was supported to have multiple sources to one target, but not one source to some or two or more exchange online tenants. So that's supported now. Yeah. So basically, of course, you require a clear separation between these tenants. So, for example, you want a specific SMTP domain for each tenant, because obviously you cannot register one domain name such as jargon-it.de to two different tenants. So you need different domain names in the target, as well as you require multiple Azure Active Directory Connect hosts, one for each target tenant. But then you can use the hybrid configuration wizard once at a time to configure these configurations and to enable hybrid deployments between tenants. Yeah, the support is currently up to 5 tenants. Yeah, and of course, Exchange 2016 and 2019 only. Well, here's a note: the hybrid configuration wizard, of course, does not configure a FreeBSD full mesh if you run multiple tenants, target tenants. So if you migrate to different Exchange online tenants, the FreeBSD information is only between the on-premises scoped area and your Exchange online tenant. If you want a full meshed one, there's documentation available how to configure that one, but it requires separate work. So what happened to the removing the last Exchange server? Yeah, well, I was looking this up when I prepared this session. And the interesting thing is, the only thing I found was really the official statement back at Ignite last year. We continue to work hard to deliver this. We are committed to deliver a solution, but there's no news to announce today. Well, so the current status is no change, but still the issue exists. So why does it still exist? Well, as I said, yeah, because of the vulnerabilities in Exchange servers, I guess Microsoft switched all the development resources to focus on the issue and moved a little bit away from their target time plan here. Yeah. I guess in the next Ignite, we will hear something about this. I hope so. Yeah, it's still an open topic for years now, for 3 years now, which is interesting. It definitely is not that easy. The only solution for right now is to keep one server in your environment to manage the environment until Microsoft provides a fix for it. Next thing to consider for your hybrid is basic authentication in Exchange Online is going to be around for a little bit longer. That was the message last year. The official delay is second half 2021. So here's again a big thing. You should retire any basic authentication application that you have in your environment and that is connected to Exchange Online. because at some point it will be turned off. Yeah, of course, there will be more information available and there will be more support available. The last thing I heard about that was also quite a while ago, but I always want to mention that to make sure you understand the implication. Well, and recently I discovered with a customer something that I wanted to share here. Yeah, it's hybrid and the mail outbound relay issue. Remember, if you're in hybrid and you have certain domains registered to on-premise and online, you want to make sure that all domains are set to authoritative in both Exchange Online and on-premises. If that's not possible for some reason, for example, you have an on-premises system that connects to another SMTP system, and basically your Exchange Online includes not all the domains or email addresses that are used by your senders, then of course there might be the case that your on-premises servers or applications are sending unwanted emails. And of course, these are relayed via EOP to the internet. And of course, EOP, as it's officially it includes artificial intelligence, might see that this is an issue. Yeah. So this is so these areas are really important to prevent your tenant from being blocked. Yeah. So as I said, if you send emails to the internet and, for example, using Exchange Online protection, so EOP and Exchange Online from your Exchange on-prem systems, you also want to take care that the non-accepted domain report in Mailflow Insights is really something to look at very frequently. Why? Because it shows you the unprovisioned domains, for example. It tells you there is something going on that you might need to fix. Otherwise, the tenant might be in a mode that's called limited mode. Yeah, and the limited mode is a special mode that basically prevents NDRs from being sent to the internet, yeah, but also prevents out of office messages. Yeah. So here is really take care of these areas, make sure you understand that your mail flow, and in order to prevent all these issues, make sure your on-premises and EXO are set for authoritative for all domains, because that would not allow anything like forwarding problems here. Okay, you see there's a lot of areas to remember in Exchange Hybrid. So let's focus on Exchange Online now, yeah, for the last 20 minutes. So first of all, the new admin center was released. So back in April 2021, yeah, Microsoft put the Exchange Admin Center on general availability. I put together some highlights here, yeah, but you probably have seen it because they switched it. Yeah, they switched the view directly to the Exchange Admin Center. So you have it directly in your environment. Yeah, when you open the Admin Center using the Office 365 Admin Center, you immediately see the new Admin Center. Well, the big benefit for the Admin Center is like the home area. You can customize the most important areas that you want to see here. Yeah, or you can open the Cloud Shell, for example, directly from the Exchange Admin Center. Hello? Yeah, you see you can use Bash or PowerShell. Well, but also great are the insights that are not yet implemented that should follow at some point in the future. And important for you to know is also that the classic Exchange Admin Center is not removed because of the implementation of the new Admin Center. You still can access it, and you need this access, for example, if you want to configure your mobile policies in the Exchange Admin Center, for example, or if you want to block or allow specific devices in here. Yeah, however, over time, everything will be added here. You see even public folders made it to the new Admin Center. So, and of course, the organizational area. So Let's switch back. Yeah. So next is the Exchange Online version 2 PowerShell module. So the first version was released back in February 2021. The latest one is version 2.0.5 that was released just last month. And you can upgrade it easily or install it easily by just run install in a PowerShell evaluated console and run the install dash module dash name Exchange Online management dash required version. Well, and that's the latest version 2.0.5. If you basically remove the required version, then it would install the latest one anyway. But to make sure that you have the latest one install, use this commandlet. Well, and what's the key features? It's the 9 improved commandlets, the EXO commandlets. So basically, you can find them easily if you click get command dash EXO. You see the latest EXO commandlet, and these commandlets have been tremendously improved in means of speed execution. So they're like 5 times faster than before. And are really good to be used if you use them in your scripts or in your daily life. And also what's now supported is certificate-based authentication for scripting. Together with the release of Exchange version 2 PowerShell, they also announced the support for PowerShell, well, the Exchange Online PowerShell module for Mac OS and Linux. Wow. So any of the Linux folks out there that tried it, give me a shout. I would be interested in understanding how it works and if it's good or not. So here's just the architecture of the new PowerShell. And you see the big thing is first throttling is improved. So there is no throttling done on these kind of version 2 PowerShell modules. Yeah, and it's stateless. So if you lose the connection, it will resume your session even if it's connecting to a different server, which is awesome, and of course prevents the script guys out there or from well, keeps them from a lot of trouble. Next one to talk is about send from proxy addresses finally arrived. Yeah, what's send from proxy addresses? So send from proxy addresses is basically that you are able to send from any of your proxy addresses of your mailbox. So right now or before that, you're only able to send from your primary email address. However, the primary email address sometimes, well, you want to change that. And in the past, this required a different mailbox. So you needed to configure another mailbox with the different email address and click on the from in order to support this. So since May, now your tenant, well, supports from alias addresses in Outlook on the web. So so what you see is basically the recipient sees that it comes from this email address. Yeah. It does not work for Outlook or for Outlook mobile yet, but only for Outlook on the web. And the way you enable so you can do this today on your tenant. Yeah, just run set organization config dash send from alias enabled. Let me show how this works quickly. So first of all, I make sure that it's still hello. Oh, I disconnected just on this. So make sure it's enabled for my tenant. And you see once it's loading all the commandlets, then it should show the true. Yeah, you see. And remember this, if you enable it, it might take a while until it's available. Yeah, so it's not immediately like bang, it's available. No, it takes like a couple of minutes or two. So let me show you how to do this. So a user, I'm a normal user now. Yeah, my primary email address is basically, well, you need to enter from, of course, here. So you see my primary email address here. That's sigi@jagot-it.de. However, I want to use my marketing email address. So I click on from, and you see, oh, it's not there, but I use another address. So I can use marketing at, because I know my email address. The first time I need to edit, yeah. And you see use marketing at Yeah, Jagot ID. So now I sent just a test email to myself. Yeah, read intelligent to my email. So test from marketing. So you see this basically it did not say anything. If you click send, it's send it. Yeah, and in the send information, you also see that this email address was sent. You see you see that it was sent by me, but which is basically also an. Let me switch here to my other email, and it already pinged, and you see here the recipient side. So the recipient side, you see, okay, marketing at jagodmannesIT.com. Yeah. So basically, this allows your users to send from different email addresses. As I said, it has a couple of limitations. For example, if I reply to this, I don't see that it's coming to marketing. It's still coming to my main mailbox. Secondly, I cannot use Outlook right now to send from this email address. So you must use over, but I hopefully see this coming soon. Yeah. And lastly, and you see here it comes, but 2 is basically my email address. Yeah. And lastly, of course, Outlook mobile support would have been great. However, it's the first step to the Google feature, which is available, people told me, for many, many years. Yeah, now you can use this since May. Next one is plus addressing in Office 365. So remember, there's some situation where you want to hide your email address because you don't like that newsletters give away your email address to other internet companies for maybe spamming you. So for that, you can enable plus addressing. Plus addressing basically allows you to use an email address with to hide your email address behind something that allows you to identify who used it. Yeah. So for example, Mother Bones, yeah, is the account that you want to subscribe to. You say Kim Akers plus Mother Bones, and that allows you then to create a motherbones.com messages inbox rule in order to differentiate these messages. Yeah, so you really see, okay, so these messages that come from motherbones.com are forwarded maybe to a folder, or you prevent it. Yeah, if you don't want them anymore, you just hit them or delete them. So it allows you to keep your inbox clean. And for of course, for the sending party, they would give away an email address with this plus sign in it, and that's of course something, well, not of no use if you remove the transport rule in your inbox. You can also enable this very easily. Where's the so yeah, better. So it's for better inbox management or identify the source. Yeah. How to enable? You just run enable set organization config allow plus address in recipients true. Very easy. Yeah, easy peasy. But of course, you need to tell your users about it. So what's in public preview for Exchange Online right now? So first and the best and most important thing is cross-tenant mailbox migration is in public preview since December. Yeah, I put in, I was thinking about next time, I think I put together a full slide or a full session on this because it's very important and it's not so easy to understand. However, I wanted to address a couple of the areas and tell you what it means. Basically, public preview means you can use it on your own risk. Yeah. The requirements are you need an Azure Key Vault and you need an mail-enabled security group on the source side. The mail-enabled security group on the source side basically scopes the list of mailboxes that the target side is allowed to be moved. Yeah. so it's access control. Yeah, it's very sophisticated. It's very secure, because if the source side deletes the security group, then the target side cannot request any mailbox moves anymore. How to set up? Well, you run a couple of scripts, yeah, that you download from GitHub, and configure your tenants, so the source and the target tenant, to tie together. How's that done? Yeah. So I've added the architectural picture here. I don't want to dig into the details because in the means of time. Yeah, but you see, it's the communication is not so straightforward and requires also some sort of planning. Yeah. So cross-tenant mailbox migration, once you did this setup, then it's robust, because it allows the MRS to enable move batches between your source exchange tenant and your target exchange tenant. So it's very, very quick, very secure, yeah, and you can take benefit of source to target. So you don't need any hardware in between. You don't need any network in between, because from exchange to exchange, you issue the batch and then you control the batches. However, there is nothing that comes without issues. So the biggest issue right now is there's no email address sharing. So one domain name is registered to one target tenant. So that basically means if you want to move a mailbox from tenant A, contoso.com, you cannot apply contoso.com to the target tenant until it's in the source tenant, or until you remove it from the source tenant. So that requires a new domain. So you need, for example, to use fabricam.com for that. Meeting information such as team links are broken. Well, they are migrated and the appointments are moved over, but the links are, of course, targeted to the source, targeted to the source environment. And if you move the mailbox over, then of course the calendar entries need to be updated. And lastly, Outlook does not automatically reconfigure to the new tenant, which basically means it stops working. You need to enter the new email address, and then it requires, of course, a full resync of the OST as well as of the address book. Lastly, make sure, of course, you understand this complex process and test it. Yeah, I very simplified it yet. There's more more thought needed, especially in the directory synchronization area. Yeah, but I wanted to let you know it's available. Yeah, so you can use it if you want it. So what's coming next? So still new features are out there. Not that many as I reported last year. One of the still open is Dane and DNSSEC for Exchange 365 Exchange Online, for Office 365 Exchange Online. Yeah, that's still open. I did not see even the first phase of implementation yet. Yeah, and so I guess both DNSSEC and Dane for SMTP are not fully implemented yet. But let me catch up with Microsoft on this one. So that brings me to the end of this session. I want to thank you for your participation. Yeah. As I said, you can contact me anytime using this email address, or contact me on Twitter. I will share with Drago the slide deck, yeah, with all the links that I talked about. Yeah, and I wish you a great weekend. Thank you very much. Yeah, and if there's any question, feel free to unmute and ask them now.